My brothers and sisters, do you know why so many of us never reach our true potential? It's not because we lack talent. It's not because we lack opportunities. It's because we keep talking about success instead of letting success talk about us. Sometimes the greatest strength you can have is silence. You don't need to tell the world every single step you are taking, every plan you are working on, or every blessing you have received. In fact, silence is often the most powerful protection Allah has given you. When you keep your matters private, they remain safe from unnecessary eyes, from jealousy, from negative comments, and from the doubts that people plant in your heart. You see, the moment you share your journey with everyone, you open the door for both support and criticism, for both sincere prayers and hidden envy. And sadly, not every smile is genuine, not every listener is a well-wisher. There are people who may not openly harm you, but the thoughts they harbor, the envy they feel, the comparisons they make, all of these can affect your peace. That is why the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us to conceal certain blessings until they are completed. Why? Because silence safeguards what words may expose. You don't have to announce your dreams before they are born, and you don't have to display your blessings before they are stable. When you keep them hidden, they have time to grow strong, away from the storm of opinions, away from the doubts of others. And let me tell you, my beloved brothers and sisters, silence is not weakness. It is wisdom. People often think that by telling others what they do, they are proving their worth. But real worth does not come from announcements, it comes from results. The most successful people are not the ones who constantly speak about their plans. They are the ones who work silently, patiently, and consistently until the results themselves cannot be hidden. Success has a voice of its own, a voice far louder than any explanation. Protecting your blessings through silence also keeps your heart humble. When you stop seeking validation from people, you start focusing on the one who truly matters, Allah. Instead of worrying about how others see you, you begin to ask, is Allah pleased with me? Is what I am doing bringing me closer to Him? That shift in mindset changes everything. It gives you inner peace. It frees you from the chains of comparison, and it allows you to build quietly, away from the noise of this world. So stop feeling the need to explain yourself to everyone. Stop feeling pressure to justify every step you take. The truth is, not everyone deserves to know your journey. Share with those who are sincere, those who love you, those who make dua for you. But beyond that, keep your matters between you and Allah. Because when Allah protects something, no one can harm it. And sometimes His way of protecting your blessing is by teaching you to stay silent. My brothers and sisters, we live in a time where words are everywhere. People talk about their goals, their dreams, their work, and their efforts more than they actually work on them. But let me remind you, words will not take you far if they are not backed by action. Anyone can say, I will do this, I will achieve that, I will build this. But what really matters is what you actually do when no one is watching. Because at the end of the day, actions speak far louder than words ever could. If you think about it, when you constantly announce your plans, people may admire you for a moment, they may clap for you, they may encourage you, but what happens after that? If those plans never come to life, your words lose their value. But when you quietly work, when you let your results speak for themselves, then you don't need to convince anyone. They will see your effort, they will see your consistency, and they will see the fruits of your hard work. This is why the wise ones say, don't tell them what you are going to do. Show them what you've already done. That is true power. Because actions are undeniable. You can argue with words, but you cannot argue with results. When Allah blesses your effort, the outcome shines in a way that no explanation, no justification, and no loud announcement ever could. And sometimes, my beloved brothers and sisters, speaking too much about what you plan to do only creates unnecessary pressure on you. You start focusing more on proving to people rather than doing for Allah. You start worrying about what others will think if you fail, instead of focusing on giving your best effort. But when you keep silent and just act, you free yourself from that pressure. You focus on the work itself, and that's where the real growth happens. Look around you. The greatest achievers, the ones who truly inspire, are not those who spent years talking about what they would do. They are the ones who silently worked day after day until the results forced the world to recognize them. They didn't need to explain, they didn't need to boast, they didn't need to constantly remind people of their efforts. Their actions carried their voice. And that voice will always be louder than mere words. So, my brothers and sisters, remember this. You don't need to tell the world your every move. You don't need to convince people of your worth through your explanations. Instead, invest your energy into action. Work in silence, trust Allah with your results, and let your success speak on your behalf. For when actions speak, no words are necessary. One of the biggest mistakes we make is the constant need to explain ourselves. We feel as though every step we take, every choice we make must be justified to people. We go into long explanations about why we are doing something, how we plan to do it, what our intentions are, and where it will lead. But the truth is, the more you over-explain, the more you invite doubt not only into the minds of others, but also into your own heart. When you tell people too much, they begin to question you. They start pointing out flaws in your plan, weaknesses in your decisions, and reasons why you might fail. Sometimes they don't even mean harm, but their words plant seeds of uncertainty. And those seeds grow inside you, making you doubt what you once felt confident about. Suddenly, what you believed was possible now feels impossible. Not because it changed, but because you allow too many voices into your mind. Think about it when you are over-explaining. Who are you really trying to convince? Yourself or the people around you? Many times it's not about clarity, it's about insecurity. We try to justify our choices because deep down we fear judgment. But the reality, people will always judge. No matter how many explanations you give, someone will still doubt you, someone will still criticize, and someone will still misunderstand. That is the nature of people. And this is where wisdom comes in. Silence protects you from unnecessary doubts. A short answer, a simple response, or even no explanation at all can often be more powerful than a long justification. Why? Because it shows confidence. It shows that you don't need to convince anyone. You know where you stand, and most importantly, you trust that Allah knows your intention. At the end of the day, it is Allah who judges your actions, not the people around you. When you stop over-explaining, you also protect your peace. You stop inviting opinions that you never needed in the first place. You stop carrying the heavy burden of trying to make everyone understand you. And let's be honest, not everyone deserves access to the details of your life. Some people are only curious, some are waiting to criticize, and some are silently hoping you don't succeed. Why hand them the tools to discourage you by giving them more information than they need? So my brothers and sisters, free yourself from this habit of over-explaining. Live with the mindset that not everyone has to understand you, not everyone has to agree with you, and not everyone needs to know your every move. The only one you need to seek approval from is Allah. And when you carry that in your heart, you will find peace, strength, and clarity like never before. Look at the story of Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him. His own brothers, his own flesh and blood were consumed by jealousy. They saw their father's love for him, and instead of being happy, they were filled with envy. Their jealousy pushed them to the point of plotting against him. If such envy could exist in the hearts of his brothers, then what about the people around us today? This is why we must understand that not everyone's intentions are pure, and not everyone's heart is free of jealousy. It doesn't mean you live in fear or suspicion of everyone, but it does mean you learn to be wise. It means you stop exposing all your blessings and plans to those who might not handle it well. Because sometimes the harm doesn't come through actions, it comes through eyes that envy and hearts that resent. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ warned us about the reality of the evil eye. And one of the ways we protect ourselves is by keeping certain matters private. Not everyone clapping for you is happy for you. Some clap only because they want to hide what's truly in their hearts. Not everyone asking questions is concerned. Some just want to measure how far ahead you are compared to them. And not everyone who praises you means it sincerely. Sometimes praise is a cover for jealousy. This is why protecting your blessings with silence is a form of wisdom. My brothers and sisters, understand this clearly. Allah has given you unique gifts, unique opportunities, and unique blessings. But when you constantly display them, you make yourself a target for envy. That's why sometimes Allah conceals your success until it is strong enough to stand on its own. Sometimes He delays showing the world what you are doing because He is protecting you from those who would harm you with their eyes and their hearts. So do not feel the need to announce everything. Do not believe that every friend, every relative, or every follower online truly wants the best for you. Some do, yes, and those are the people you should cherish. But many do not. And the way you protect yourself is by keeping your matters between you and Allah. Because the less people know, the less they can interfere. And the less they interfere, the more space you give Allah to bless you. When you shift your focus from proving to doing, everything changes. Instead of spending hours worrying about what people will think of your choices, you begin to pour that energy into actual progress. Instead of overthinking how others will perceive you, you start to concentrate on building quietly, on working consistently, and on showing results that cannot be denied. Because the truth is, no matter how much you try, you will never satisfy everyone. Someone will always have an opinion, someone will always criticize, and someone will always find a reason to doubt you. That is the reality of life. But when you focus on doing, on acting, and on moving forward, those voices begin to fade away. Why? Because results are undeniable. You don't need to explain yourself when your actions already speak louder than your words. You don't need to argue with critics when your results silence them without you having to say a word. That is the beauty of focusing on doing. Think about the most impactful people in history. They were not busy debating with everyone who doubted them. They were not caught up in endless explanations to those who didn't believe in them. They focused on their mission, they worked quietly, and they let their achievements prove everything that needed to be proven. Cool. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself faced doubters, haters, and critics. Did he waste his time trying to prove his truth to every single person? No. He focused on delivering the message, on living with integrity, and on letting the results of his actions show the truth. My beloved brothers and sisters, remember that your value does not come from people's approval. It does not come from their claps, their likes, or their recognition. It comes from your sincerity, your effort, and your connection with Allah. When you work with sincerity, Allah Himself will open doors for you, doors that no person could ever open or close. But when you waste your life trying to prove yourself to people, you tie yourself down with chains that stop you from moving forward. So stop explaining, stop justifying, stop proving. Focus instead on building, on striving, and on walking the path Allah has written for you. Because in the end, it is not the words of people that matter, but the results Allah allows you to achieve through His mercy. When you think about it, true greatness has never needed to shout. A tree doesn't make noise when it grows, yet when it bears fruit, the whole world notices. In the same way, your success doesn't need constant updates. It doesn't need endless posts, and it doesn't need repeated announcements. What it needs is patience, dedication, and sincerity. The moment you focus more on the actual journey than on talking about it, you create results that become impossible to ignore. The problem with constantly announcing your moves is that it creates expectations. People begin to watch you, not always with support, but sometimes with doubt, waiting for you to fail. And if things don't go the way you planned, you may feel embarrassed as though you let the world down. But when you keep quiet, when you move silently, and when you allow your results to arrive naturally, then even your critics are left with no choice but to acknowledge what you've achieved. That is the power of letting your success speak for itself. Success is not measured by how many people know about your plans. It is measured by how sincerely you work for Allah's sake and how consistently you strive, even when no one sees you. Sometimes Allah conceals your progress because He wants to protect you from envy. And then at the right time, He unveils your success in such a way that no one can deny it. That is not your doing, that is Allah's doing. So instead of saying, I am going to achieve this, let your life say it for you. Instead of convincing others with words, let your results speak. Because results are undeniable. People may question your words, they may doubt your plans, they may dismiss your efforts. But when the outcome stands before them, their words mean nothing. Your success itself becomes your proof. And remember, the greatest success is not in impressing people, but in pleasing Allah. If He accepts your effort, then you have already won, even if the whole world doesn't recognize it. But when He blesses your effort, the world will see it whether you announce it or not.